Welcome to the Urban Cowgirl Show.
Well, this is our next session and a new show, part 3. We're reviewing with Eve, just harness driving up and down the driveway. We were supposed to have 3, if not 4 people today on the team. We don't. 2 of the people haven't showed up yet for various reasons. So, from my experience, I know not to do something if you feel you don't have enough help. So we're just going to review what we did at the end of last session, which is G and Ha forward and backward on this driveway. This is the arm extension we're going to use if we need it. This is the single tree we're going to use when we're ready to put it on the harness and hold it up at first. I see in the other direction on the driveway that one of my helpers is here, but he's never done this, I think. Keep going. Do it again. Looks like you don't need the arm extension, am I right?
Yeah. Ho, ho.
Okay, when you say ho, also do give and take with the drive lines. Okay? Okay, good. Now look at Eve. She is in alert mode. Why? Because my helper, Dawn, is walking up the driveway. So try to go the other direction. Let's get her thinking about what she knows what to do.
Step up.
Good. Whoops, sorry, I ran into the tripod. Make sure you go in both directions, G and Ha. Now the question is, with at least one extra helper, do we want to attach and move with this single tree? My inclination is no, because of the fact that the helper that's here has never done this as far as I know. I have to show him prior videos. And all this is going to do today is show you what we did the last couple times. Okay, stop her. Back her. Good. Getting her to stand still in front of the camera is a little tricky. Good. Very nice backing. Backing is like trotting, you know, but in the backwards direction, if it's done correctly. Okay, come on up about 5 steps and stop. And if she'll stand, even though there's somebody standing at the gate that she's not used to seeing, that's all right, Eve. She's a Morgan now. Her neck is going to go up and get stiff, definitely, if she's concerned. Look at her ears. Okay, turn her. Go ahead. No, do whatever you have. If she starts moving, use that. Use that and say, okay, move. And ask her to move. You've got to keep her focus. Getting a horse to stand still when they're maybe about to go into flight mode because they're a little bit spooked or insecure is very challenging. It's a better idea just to get their focus and ask them to do something they know how to do that makes their feet move. When you're in a comfortable place to stop, let's see if she'll stop. Come up a little closer since we don't have the mics today. Stand in the sun if you would. Okay, now I'm going to walk up to her. She's got her blinders on. It's all right, Eve. It's all right. It's okay. And I'm just bringing the single tree close to her because it's going to make chain noises and eventually be on the ground. But look at her back leg. Her back left leg. It is cocked. That's a good sign. She's trying to look through her blinders and can't see, but you know, she has to trust me. Okay, and now the chain's made a noise and she is showing concern again. So that's as much as I'm going to do with the single tree today. But boy, we have a long ways to go. And you know what? We've done it with Eve before. I know we'll get there, but we're going to do it very cautiously, one tiny baby step at a time. Okay, head her towards her tie post. And we'll call this the end of our session on our note of resolution. Here's our next session with Eve. Probably about 3 or 4 weeks since the last session. I just haven't had the helpers here that I would like to have. There seems to be no work ethic left in this part of America. I used to be able to easily get students to come here to work. I live across the street from UCSC. I'm not. If they sign up at all, they're unreliable. And I did try Day Workers, which is an organization trying to help the aliens who are looking for work. I signed up with them, and this is like the 3rd failure I've had for one fellow who said he wants to work here. So he didn't show up today. So we're going to move on, one tiny baby step at a time. And I was hoping we could hook up this single tree today with somebody walking behind Eve, keeping the single tree off the ground, because it makes a lot of noise when it is being pulled on the ground. And that's all part of harness pull training. Get the horse or horses or cows to understand that not only do they feel the pressure of the pull, but they're going to hear some unusual noises. Well, Eve is all harnessed up, and my helper Sam, who knows how to harness Eve and where all the harness tack is and so forth, is leaving at the end of this month, which is Wednesday, and today is Monday, for a trip abroad, or getting ready for a trip abroad as a student. And so I thought, okay, we will try to go to the next step today. But you know what? We're not ready to hook this up, and here's why. It's been weeks for Eve. She's okay on having her tack on. We don't have the drive lines on. But I asked Sam while I was getting this camera set up, because I don't have a camera person either, to walk up and down the driveway with Eve with all her tack on except for the drive lines, and just use the rope halter and a lead line. And when I got down here, Sam said, "She's too spooky, Sonia. I don't think we're ready to hook up the single tree." So, Sam, before we start, could you just explain what happened and speak loud and
well, I took her just down, down this little kind of trail right here and back, and there was a lot of noises from birds and other little animals that she's used to having around because she's in this area all the time. But with the blinders on, it started to make her a little spooky, and she was walking quickly, and she was trying to kind of get away from that whole area, even though she's there on a daily basis, because she can't. So I would just stop and let her look around and try to get, read on everything with the blinders on, but she's still just a little nervous because it's been too long.
Too long, right. Today's a new day. She's a horse. She's a wonderful, wonderful horse. As a matter of fact, she's probably my best dispositioned horse on this earth nowadays. So here's what we're going to do. For a few minutes, we're going to show you what Sam just said. We'll see if, with repetition, Eve gets better at trusting us. She must have confidence. On this driveway, which not only has she been up and down with the harness many times in the last month or two, but she gets to graze out here at night. I keep a gate open out of her corral so she can come back here because there's grass to eat, and she gets to come near the cows who live back here. So, all right, we're just going to show you what Sam just described to you. We're not going to hook up the single tree unless there's immediate confidence from Eve, and I don't expect it, not today. All right, Sam, do what you were doing.
Okay, why don't we scoot this back so that way in case she decides to
Yes, you see, Sam has become aware. I just put that single tree down, but yeah, if Eve gets away and she steps all over the single tree, that will just scare her all the more. Careful, the sound. Here, let me take it, Sam, and you go get Eve.
She just needed to see what it was.
Yes, she just needed to see what it was, says Sam. Now, why do horses wear blinders? Because we hope to keep their distractions minimal when they're pulling. But, in fact, if they don't have confidence in you and they hear something and they can't see it, they get scared. So, here we go for a few minutes. Now, there are their drive lines hanging on a rafter hook, or that's just actually a tack hook that I made. All right, let's see how she is. Good girl, Eve. She's watching me. She certainly knows me, but okay. By the way, Sam said that when she was doing this, before I came down, a flock of birds flew out of the tree. Well, you know, that's nature. But what is the horse's reaction to that kind of sudden sound or sight of movement? Well, flee. Let me flee. So Eve got nervous. She didn't pull away from the lead line. She just said, I better get out of here. Sam is trying to stop her now. It's hard to keep all fours there. Good. Yeah, just stand there for a moment, Sam, and don't pull on the lead line with a constant pressure. Just kind of bump it. Good. She's looking around. This is my obstacles area. She's looking around. I can see her ears are up. And you will see our next session when I'm sure I can do it safely. Safety is number one. But repetition is very important on the path to safety, on the roadmap to safety. Okay, when you get back here, just tie her up and let's do a quick interview. I feel that this was an important session for Firecrest Easter Eve. We may have a chance to do it again Wednesday, which is Sam's last day here. But if we don't, when I can do it safely, I will do it. It's been about 4.5 to 5 months since my right hip replacement, and I'm walking essentially without pain. But if I get hauled around by a horse, I could hurt myself. And I'm going to give myself another 4.5 to 6 months before I trust that I am as sound in my right as I feel in my left, which was done as a hip replacement more than 2 years ago. I do intend to, and watch it on Urban Cowgirl channel, I do intend to start riding my side saddle within the next month or two. Okay, how'd she feel this time?
She was a little calmer, but she's still trying to walk really fast. She's trying to get away from that whole shaded area.
Uh-huh.
And so I would just kind of do like a little tiny quick double jolt on her halter and say easy, and that kind of slowed her down a little bit. But she, you know, if I start to do a turn, then she wants to go out of the turn really quickly. And if I try to get her to stop, she wants to either turn around or she doesn't want to stay over there for any length of time.
Okay, now if I get somebody else who knows how to harness, we will go on to our next session and we will have benefited from this session because Sam has described very well what she's feeling, what Eve is feeling, what she feels we can do safely. And we'll have somebody watch this video, which is now a total of about 10 to 12 minutes. We'll have them watch it so that we can go to the next baby step. And that's all for today. Sonia Sokolow, the Urban Cowgirl. It has been weeks since we have harnessed Eve, and we have some new helpers. So we're going back one step. Last time we harnessed, there was, if you can turn the camera, there was a flock of quail in that tree. And the quail flew out when we were driving Eve with the drive lines. She was real spooky after that. Now today, it seems quiet. It's not windy. It's not sunny, but it's not cold.
It's all right.
Lee is learning how to harness. And Lee and Danielle watched with me the other day some YouTube movies. And I told Lee, I said, if we have a wreck, here is a very valuable Swiss Army knife, and I always keep it here in my cart shed because there are so many straps. If there is a wreck and the straps get hung up somewhere where they shouldn't be, cut them off. This is a wonderful Swiss Army knife that a friend of mine gave me several years ago for Christmas, and I said, I'm keeping that in my cart shed. Okay, come on around here, Danielle, and face Eve toward the east. Okay, and now quietly hand her the drive lines, and I'm going to hold her. It's all right. And Danielle's putting the drive lines on her bridle, which has the blinders on, and she's pretty good about that, so we're letting her know. You see, she can't see, but she can hear, and she must trust. She must trust us. And Danielle, you're going to go through the top rings on the saddle with those drive lines.
Okay.
We harnessed up today before we turn the camera on because you've seen many sessions of harness. Okay, and Lee is watching because Danielle is leaving now for at least 3 months, and so we want to continue this as the summer goes on.
This is why we have these big carabiners here to go through there.
Right. Can you zoom in on that? We have some extra size carabiners because these are heavy duty drive lines. It's all right. Yeah, leather. Okay, Danielle, go ahead and watch Lee do it. And where to do it. A lot of rings, a lot of straps. She's being real good, and we put a halter on. I've got this drive whip in my hand in case we need it, but I don't want to scare her with it. We put a halter on so that we can remove the lead line when we're ready. Good. Okay. And here's what I'm going to ask Lee to do. I'm going to ask him to hold on to the lead line without a knot in your hand, and while Danielle drives, you're going to take the same path, but she's going to do it with the drive lines, and you're going to be there just in case there's a it's all right. Okay, get behind. The hardest thing for Sam when she was doing this was staying behind. Okay, if you need an arm extension, I've got my cart whip. Okay. Good, good. So far, no quail in the tree. And she's looking really calm. I watch for body language signs. She's not stiff in the neck. Her ears are moving back and forth, if you can zoom in on that. It's all right, and you stay behind. That was the hardest thing for Sam, especially when you turn. And then I want you to do it one more time. And if everything is going well, we'll take the lead line off, and she'll do it without the lead line on. Safety is number one. Harness work is very different from saddle work.
Oh. Oh. Back.
Back. She's backing her. Good. And around, and then you have to move fast, and that's why I can't do it yet. I'm still 5 months into my right hip replacement. I'm hoping by another 5 or 6 months, I will be able to move fast enough if there is trouble, and to move fast enough to stay behind the horse when we're driving from the ground. If you need the arm extension, let me know, Danielle.
She's
okay. Okay, come back around. Try to make it a smooth, big circle. Face eastward again. We are going to remove the lead line, and you're just going to join up, Lee. And join up means you're going to walk with her, but without the lead line. And that lead line has a quick release to remove it. Uh-oh.
Oh.
You got to get behind her. You got to keep those drive lines over her hips. Okay. Now, as you're walking, do you think you can remove that quick release? If not, I'll come in and do it.
Here?
Yes. Turn it. I should have showed you how that one works.
Oh.
That's it. Okay. Keep walking now. It's better to keep forward motion.
Step up.
And you're with her just in case there's trouble, and you're with her because she's secure with you. That's called join up. It's a Monty Roberts training tool. Good. And around. We're going to do that again. We're okay. If you look back on our last session, Eve was showing a lot of body language signs of not being comfortable, not being secure. Go all the way. This time try to make a nice small circle and turn. G and ha. G is right. She's turning G. It'd be better if she doesn't go over that.
Yep.
Okay, but she did. Think about trying to make a little bit tighter turn, which means you have to walk even faster to stay behind. We're in my obstacles area here, and all my horses have done every single obstacle. But you know, we don't want to make it too complicated. Right now we're concentrating on harness work. Now try to make a smaller circle when you U-turn. Actually go ha, which is left.
Okay.
And then the remaining task
Look out, Lee.
today, if we feel comfortable doing it,
Girl.
is hooking up this single tree. We've done it with Eve in the past, but you know, it's been a long time. Okay, around the obstacle. Somehow hooking up the single tree so that, she's getting high-necked so that we can pull it. And at first, I will hold it up off the ground, and then if she's doing well. So let's see whether or not we can get her to stand still here, because we won't hook up the single tree today if she's showing that kind of body language.
Oh.
One baby step at a time.
Good girl.
Good girl. Now let's, I'm going to drop this extra line. I'm going to drop this arm extension, but it's right here, and I'm letting everybody know. This single tree makes a lot of noise because it's got chains on it. I'm going to walk up to her so that she can see it. Remember, she has blinders on. Oh, you should be behind.
Okay.
Always be behind so that when you use the reins, you are applying pressure evenly and telling her G and ha. It's all right.
G for right.
G is right, ha is left. Okay.
G and ha.
Okay, it's all right. Now I walk behind her and she's saying, what are you doing? Because she can't see me. She's showing a little bit of stress. On camera side, I'm going to show you what I would do if I did it today. And here's what I would do. Because of this stress that I'm seeing, she's saying, okay, it took us a long time to harness up today because we were teaching Lee and there were so many straps. I'm going to put this single tree down. I'm going to take the tug strap down, which is a quick release here. I'm going to bring it behind Eve. That's all right. That's all right. Okay. Can you stay where you are? Can you hold this and not be compromised? Okay. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. When I do harness work, no, you don't have to put that back on. Not yet. She's not that stressed. I'm taking the other tug strap down. When we do harness work, I like to have 5 people on the team, especially if we're doing pairs harness work. Okay, here's what I'm going to do without the single tree hooked, but just to take the next step and then watch for future sessions, future shows. I'm going to hold on, and I'd like you to take 5 steps forward with the drive lines, and you join up. Don't hold on to her halter. No constant pressure. It's all right. Now, here's where we could get in trouble, because now there's an extra pressure. I'm pulling while she's standing. Try to take 5 steps forward. If I have to drop these tug straps, they could get hung up around her legs. And I've got my Swiss Army knife in my left top pocket, Lee, if you need it, okay? All right, take 5 steps forward, Danielle.
Okay, step up. Good girl.
I'm pulling back. She's pulling me. Okay, stop. Whoa. Let's back up.
Back. Back.
Lee, grab it. Grab it. Okay. We've got enough people. She got stressed by the feel of my weight.
Yeah.
I had to drop it. I couldn't hold a 1,000-pound horse.
I'm right here.
Okay, wait a minute. It's touching her right rear.
Good.
Okay. I'm glad that happened just so you could see what could happen and why you have to take tiny baby steps.
Right here.
I'm glad we had enough people here and enough training so that people knew what to do to stop Eve from being scared. That's what she's doing. She's being a horse. She got scared by the extra feel. And that's why I made the judgment call for today, although she's done it in the past, not to put this single tree on. I didn't want her to leave us with these chains rattling and this thing on the ground making noise on a rock driveway. One tiny baby step at a time. Think ahead. Have the right helpers. Have the right tools in case of a wreck. And you go to YouTube if you want to see these wreck videos. It's absolutely amazing what horses can do with harnesses on, pulling whatever, in case they get right-brained or reactive. And that's all for today. Keep in touch with us on YouTube. Sonia Sokolow, the Urban Cowgirl.
See more at www.urbancowgirlchannel.com.